All right. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about Iowa's first Prescribed Fire Academy that we held last October. I'll talk about kind of the philosophy behind academies, how we conducted the academy here in Iowa, and just kind of go through the topics that we covered. And then toward the end, I'm going to have a few people come up and talk about how it was relevant at Iowa and just what their experience was in this first academy. Okay, so what is a Prescribed Fire Academy? What is it about? Why would you do it? I looked up the definition for academy, and Webster calls it or defines it as a school for special instruction. When I read that, I thought the cadre should probably get this. But it's actually a very good definition of what the academy is about. And my understanding is the Prescribed Fire Academy philosophy kind of came out of the Nature Conservancy. They designed it, and really it's a combination of classroom knowledge and then applying that to the field. So it's knowledge-based and then field-based experience going together. So I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But one of the neat things about the academy is there's a lot of interaction between the cadre or the instructors and the students. We really want it to be an open discussion. We share experiences, both good and bad, as we've been doing here at this conference. And it's really an atmosphere that encourages growth in knowledge and growth in skill sets and abilities. Some people are really good at learning just by reading a book or hearing people talk. Other people, they have to actually do it to learn it. Well, in the academy realm, you get both. So you're going to learn no matter what. It's a safe environment. We are trying to put fire on the ground out there. We want it to be a learning experience. We don't want it to be chaotic. We want it to be challenging, but as Scott likes to say, it's fire with bumper pads. So we try and keep it safe. Well, how did this first academy function? I have Inger Lamb up there first. This thing would not have functioned without Inger. I don't know where she's at now, but she played a really critical role in helping to organize the event, pull together resources, and just line everything up from food to facilities and so forth. So we're really indebted to Inger for her help in getting this first academy going. The academy did have an NWCG component to it. Now I know there are a lot of people in Iowa that think, oh my gosh, all the fire training is NWCG. It only relates to Western wildfire. It has nothing to do with Iowa. That's simply not true. The academy did have a little component of that. And the way we did the academy is we set it up as if there's a 3-day fire incident that we were on. And so every morning there was a briefing. As part of that briefing, we went over an incident action plan where we talked about objectives for the day, safety, communications, all those things. At the end of the day, we did an after-action review to talk about what did we actually discuss, what did we do, did it work, how can we change it. So that component gave the academy some structure. We split the students into squads. I think about 5 people per squad. We did that to facilitate group learning. And then also, it's a way you're going to actually operate when you're out on a fire. Each squad was assigned a cadre member, and that cadre member kind of acted as the squad coach or mentor. And the bottom point there, which I think is really important, is the academy focused on prescribed fire in Iowa. That's what we wanted it to be. And so there was a real emphasis placed on the conditions we burn under, and fuels we burn under, and so forth. Okay, we held the academy here at Camp Dodge, and what a wonderful place for it. The guy on the right in that photo is Andy Roby. He works here on the base, and Andy was very instrumental in getting the academy here at Camp Dodge. So we're indebted to him as well. You know, Camp Dodge it has it all. We have classroom facilities. They can provide housing. We can get meals brought in. Field exercises, man, they have thousands of acres of fuel out here, different fuel models. There's roads around everything, so we have bumper pads. And then the National Guard has a lot of resources. So if something bad does happen, there are additional resources there. Like Andy's new toy right there. So we were very lucky to get the academy. Okay, the operational cadre, or the instructors, here they are. All of them are here for this conference. What I really kind of wanted to point out here was, you know, it's a fairly diverse group of cadre, County Conservation Board backgrounds, IRVM, DNR, Nature Conservancy, and the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation. Kind of a scary group, but I don't know. The students, I'd say it was actually a more diverse group of students. I mean, diverse experience level, skill sets. Some of these students had very little burn experience whatsoever, maybe just one season worth of fire. Other ones had several years of fire. So that brought in a kind of an interesting component to the academy. Some of the students are actually writing burn plans for landowners. Almost all of them are crew members. Other ones are leading the burns. So, and it's a pretty diverse group. You know, there are private landowners there, private contractors, soil and water conservation district employees, CCBs, structural firefighter, and volunteer fire department people. All right, and that's not a bad photo that I took. That's just how fast-paced and ambitious the agenda was, and that was Joe's reaction to it. So we kind of broke the agenda up into, you know, it's a 3-day academy, and these are kind of the major components of the agenda. And what we wanted to do was go over all the steps from planning the burn to actually putting fire on the ground. And so I'm going to, since one of the speakers is not here, I'm going to go through line by line of everything we did. No, you guys will fall asleep. So, but I am going to go through, these are the topics. So this is the actual agenda for the day. And I'm just going to talk about a few things that we discussed in each of those presentations. So the first day, we started out with a presentation on honesty and integrity. And that's really important if you're leading the burn. If you're the person in charge, if you're drafting the plan, you're leading the fire, but it's important to all the crew members. You know, are you, in your plan, you put certain weather parameters in there. Is that the only conditions you're going to burn under, or are you going to go outside of that because it's convenient and you're there? Well, that thing may end up being a legal document for you if you have to go to court someday. So you might want to be honest about that. You know, if you have problems, if you have a slop over, if you have an escape, you know, are you reporting those things? How are you addressing them? Second presentation, we talked about high reliability organizations, and you know, that's kind of been a common thread through this whole conference here. So we talked about managing the unexpected. We talked about things like Tom's dealing with students. You know, what's the worst case scenario, and how do you predict those really bad things that can happen? So there was that was a real eye-opening discussion, I think, for the students. Then we went into burn plan components. Chad covered this topic, and he really covered everything from what are your objectives, you know, what is your burn unit laid out like, you know, what weather and fuel parameters are you looking at, contingencies, communication, resources, all those things that are included in your burn plan. You know, why are they in there? Why are they important? So we went through that. So then we went out into the field. We went out and we looked at the burn units. And I'll show you a map here in a minute.